Owensville, I feel like I'm in Janesville because the county fairgrounds are just about a mile away from our house. It feels like I'm literally at home. You know, I spent 4 formative years of my life not too far from here in Oxford, Ohio, in Miami. I like my Skyline 5-way. I love Montgomery and ribs. I didn't like the Houday beer all that much. You still make that beer, John? Yeah. Okay, hey, Houday. Sorry, I'm kind of a Packer guy, you know that though. But I want to thank a man who was a mentor to me, who taught me a lot about truth, about economics, about arithmetic. I want to thank your Governor, John Kasich, for being the man that he is. Taught me a lot. And one of my best friends in Congress, such an honorable and noble and hardworking guy, Rob Portman and Jane Portman. It is great to see you here. And I love this guy. I just got to know him recently. I think it's great. Let's have a combat surgeon, doctor, veteran, back in Congress. Send us Brad Wenstrup. He's going to be great for us. Really proud of you. I'd like to begin on a serious note today, though. All Americans are saddened and shocked today by what we saw in the Middle East. The attacks we saw on our embassies in Egypt and Libya, and the loss of life. 4 Americans, including Chris Stevens, our ambassador to Libya. These deaths are horrific. Our hearts are heavy, and our thoughts and prayers go with the victims and their families today. We need to think about that. We need to pray for them when we get home. This is a time for healing, but it's also a time for resolve. In the face of such a tragedy, we need to be reminded that the world needs American leadership. The administration sent mixed signals to those who attacked our embassy in Egypt and mixed signals to the world. I want to be clear. It is never too early for the United States to condemn attacks on Americans, on our properties, and to defend our values. This administration's policies project weakness abroad, undercutting allies like Israel, outreach to enemies like Iran, national security leaks, and devastating defense cuts. A weak America breeds insecurity and chaos around the world. The best guarantee of peace is American strength. And peace and strength will be the rallying foreign policy of this country. We face a big decision. John and Brad and Jane outlined this so well. But it's a big decision, not just here at home, but also abroad. And it's a very clear choice. We can either stay on the path that we are on, the one that President Obama has placed us on. That's a country in debt, that's a country in doubt, and yes, that's a country in decline. Or we can get this right, we can turn it around, we can reclaim our founding principles, reapply them to the problems of the day, and get America back on the right track. You know, right there too. Here's the problem. President Obama and too many politicians like him are more worried about their next election than they're worried about the next generation. That's right. We're not going to make that mistake. We're not going to take a stand, we're going to leave. Because what we want is we want to earn your support. We want to deserve victory so that we have the moral authority and the obligation to fix this mess in Washington and get this country out of debt and back on track. And we want growth, we want opportunity, we want prosperity. That is what this is all about at the end of the day. Now, I know people have issues with unions in Hollywood. We're all Americans, and we believe in what built this country. We believe in the principles that built America. And we believe that if we put the right policies in place, we can get the country back on the right track. Now, here's the question. Do you feel like you're better off today than you were 4 years ago? It's gone from bad to worse. Look, there's no two ways about it. President Obama inherited a tough situation, but he didn't make things better. Take a look at where we are. If the labor force participation rate, okay, that's kind of a mouthful. That means the proportion of men and women in this America, if it were the same, those working and looking for work, if it were the same as it was when President Obama came into office, our unemployment today would be 11.2%. You see, just last month, for every job that was created in America, nearly 4 people stopped looking for a job. This isn't working. The President gave us this big stimulus package. He said, if we can just borrow more money from countries like China, spend it around in Washington, unemployment will never get above 8%. It's been above 8% for 43 months. The President came in office saying that a $10.6 trillion national debt was quote-unquote unpatriotic. Well, with 4 years of his leadership, it's over $16 trillion. So, the question is, if we don't like what we've got, if he's promising 4 more years of the same, how would we expect the next 4 years to be any different than the last 4 years if we stick with the same president? We're not going to. You know why? We will make Mitt Romney the next president of the United States, and we will fix this mess in Washington. President Obama can give lots of great speeches. Remember 4 years ago in Denver, he had these big styrofoam Greek columns? And he said at that time, if you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run from. Guess what? That's exactly what he's doing today. Yes. He doesn't have a record to run on, so he's trying to divide this country. He's trying to distort. He's trying to paint his opponent as a person you should run from and vote for him by default. Hope and change has become attack and blame. I gotta tell you, after 4 years of getting the runaround, America needs a turnaround, and Mitt Romney is precisely the right kind of leader for this job. Of all the things we need right now, we need leadership. Just like John, we need people to see the problem, stop blaming other people, and actually fix it. Use your principles. What makes a great leader? Well, a great historian once said, a person has to have a bedrock of principles, a moral compass, a vision for the country, and the ability to execute that vision. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mitt Romney.
Yes.
That's exactly what he is. You remember the Olympics in the late 1990s? Remember all those stories about the corruption and the wasteful spending? Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? What did they do? They called a guy in Boston. They asked him to drop his life and his business and move to Salt Lake for 3 years and turn it around. And that's exactly what Mitt Romney did. Duty, honor, service to the country. He fixed that mess. He turned it around. He made us all very proud of that Olympics. It was one of the most successful Olympics in history. Look at what he's done in business. This is a man who's created jobs. This is a man who started businesses. This is a man who turned around struggling businesses. This is a man who started businesses that we all now know about. Staples, Sports Authority, Bright Horizons. This is a man who I'm proud to stand with, who knows through personal experience that if you have a small business, you build that small business. Hard work gets the credit. Entrepreneurs get the credit. Risk takers, workers get the credit. Now you've seen what leadership looks like right here in Columbus. But we need that kind of leadership, decisive leadership. And that's what this Romney Ryan plan for a stronger middle class is all about. You see, what we are after is growth. What we are after is opportunity. What we are after is upward mobility. Yeah. That's what this country prides itself on. And the president, unfortunately, he doesn't seem to get this. He's speaking to people in this country as if they're stuck in some station in life. Like they're victims of circumstances beyond their control and the government is here to help them cope with it. I don't know about you, but when I was at Miami working the summer jobs, working for a cheese company, putting up farm signs, mowing lawns, waiting tables, washing dishes, it never occurred to me that I was stuck in some station in life. I was on my road to happiness, making my path in life, finding my way, pursuing my version of my American dream. That's what we do in this country. We should be proud of that. It's not that hard. It just takes the right ideas and the right leadership. One point, you have a lot of this energy. You have a lot of energy in Ohio. You have coal, you have natural gas. We have a lot of energy in this country. Let's use the energy we have in this country. A lot of people are in between work. When you have 23 million people in this country who are either looking for work and can't find it or gave up, when you have half of all college students graduating from college in America today who either don't work in the field they trained for or work at all, we got a problem. We need to have an educational system that helps these people get the skills they need to get the careers they want in a career in a 21st century economy. We need to give people the ability to get back on the life of self-sufficiency, back into a path to prosperity. That is absolutely critical. We have a great education system here in Ohio. We need to extend its reach to everybody who needs it. And one thing where I feel like we're such kindred spirits in the Midwest, we make a lot of things. We make great things in America. I don't know if one of you guys got Les Paul over there, but Les is from Waukesha, Wisconsin. You know? We've got great manufacturers. Look around you. Your corn and beans look a whole lot better than ours, by the way. We had a pretty bad drought. But we grow a lot of food. We make a lot of things. And when countries cheat, when countries steal our intellectual property, when countries like China manipulate and cheat, we've got to hold them to account. We can't be dependent upon them as our banker. We need to hold them to account if they're not playing fair with us. We need trade that works for us. We need to open up markets. We need to make more things in Ohio, grow more food, and sell it overseas. I tell you what, a little case of common sense plays really well. We cannot keep spending money we just don't have. We've got to keep spending. We've got to get this deficit under control. We can see on the horizon this debt crisis. Here's the good news. All you have to do is turn on the TV, look at what's going on in Europe to see what is in store for us. So we see it coming. It's the most predictable economic crisis we've ever had. And yet the president has completely punted on this issue. Not only has he failed to offer any solution, he demagogues and demeans those who do. Not only has the Senate failed to pass a budget for 3 years, you don't even have a president who says, here's our solution. By the way, you can help us out here by sending us Josh Mandel to the United States Senate. Small businesses are where most of our jobs come from. Most of our new jobs in America don't come from the really large companies. They come from the successful small businesses, from the startups, from the ventures, from the entrepreneurs. Workers build these businesses. Workers work hard. They take risks. They work for a business that may be small, that may not have a great future, and then they can blossom. We need to get behind that. Here's the deal. Where I come from, overseas, we refer to Lake Superior. You see, countries like Canada, they're lowering their tax rates to their businesses. That's happening all across the world. Canada lowered their tax rates to all of their businesses to 15%. Well, guess what? 9 out of 10 businesses in Ohio, just like Wisconsin, they file their taxes as individuals, and President Obama already got his law passed, because remember, he controlled Congress for 2 years. He is guaranteeing that the top tax rate on these successful small businesses, those businesses in our industrial parks, those manufacturers, goes above 40% in January. When we tax our job creators at much higher tax rates than our foreign competitors tax theirs, they win, we lose. You know what's worse? This particular tax increase, it only pays for 8% of his proposed deficit spending. You take all those Obama tax increases he's proposing, he doesn't even pay for a fifth of his proposed deficit spending. If we get this right, if we put this 5-point plan in place, proven ideas that have worked, pro-growth policies for opportunity, for job creation, for growth, we can get it going. We can create 12 million jobs. We can get this economy growing at the rate it ought to be. John doesn't have to face the headwinds from Washington because we have a tailwind, because we are getting back behind the nucleus of our economy and our society, and that's the person, not the government. Yeah. That is the key. It is more than just jobs. It is more than just higher take-home pay. It's more than cracking down on countries that abuse trade. America is more than this, and more than this is at stake in this election. This truly is, no matter what generation you come from, the most important in your generation.
Yes, it is.
We understand it. It really comes down to a question. What kind of people do we want to be? What kind of country do we want to have? And when you take a look at it, when you take a look at those principles that built this country, liberty, freedom, free enterprise, self-determination, government by consent of the governed. Government works for us, not the other way around, by the way.
Yes.
It's so beautifully written in the Declaration of Independence. And sometimes even presidents need reminding that America is an idea. It's the only country founded on an idea. And that idea is really simple. Our rights come from nature and nature's God, not from government. That's the idea of America. Our founders created that, and every generation of veterans since saved it for us and secured it, and we thank those veterans. I see you out there in the crowd. Thank you for your service to our country. Friends, we can do this. You are in the Buckeye State. You are Ohioans. You know what that means. You actually do know what that means because you're used to being paid attention to a lot. They call it a targeted state. They call it the ultimate targeted state. What does that mean? That means you have a special responsibility, a special opportunity. You, more than most other Americans, get to decide which of these two futures we're going to have. And this is the commitment that Mitt Romney and I are going to make to you, our fellow citizens here in Ohio. We will not duck the tough issues. We will not kick the can down the road. We will lead and we will fix this mess in Washington and get this economy back on track. And we will not spend the next 4 years blaming other people. We will take responsibility and own up and get things done. And we will not try to transform America into something it was never intended to be. We will not try to replace our founding principles. We will re-up together we can get this done. I want to thank you guys. Great music, great state, great country, great ideals. Let's get it done, everybody. Thank you, everybody, very much.